Welcome to the Trovian Showcase. I, Insipid Von Money Currency, shall be your host. Where are we? The DragonFire Peaks. Yeah? Is that what it's called? Oh, gosh, I hope so. If it's not, this will be very awkward for me. Yes. Well, what is their nature? What is their purpose? One may find out. When we presume that there are dragons, yes, and peaks, one may further assert that there might also be fire. Gentlemen, yes, that's very nice. So far, we've encountered an adorable wee little dragon. And if this fellow were to be any assessment of the matter, let's take a closer look. Yes, sir, here's your face. Look at that skull structure. Now, it's obviously some kind of undead, very skeletal in nature, but very dragon-like. Very interesting. Let us go on. Let's go further. It seems that, the floor may be giving way. Oh, and there's lava! Well, that's just a nice little treat now, isn't it? Excuse me, sir. I'm going to be coming on over here. Good, yes, most excellent. Devious manner in which to make this a tad more difficult now, isn't it? DragonFire Peaks. Yes, well, we are seeing a great deal of red intonations in terms of colorations and fire. Fire seems to be a theme. Things are on fire. Yes, quite. And then, it seems we've met the smoldering dragon, who, curiously enough, shall summon fire bats? Intriguing. An attack that appears to be a breath weapon of some sort. Explosions. Are those explosions coming from you or from outside source? Looks like it's just you specifically. Able to summon additional allies. Very interesting, very interesting. And we also appear to be on top of something. Not a breath attack at all. It is actually calling down attacks from above? Fascinating. Well, can't have that, now can we? Break your things. Very, very good. Now, we could... Why is this slippery? Why is this slippery? It shouldn't be ice. Perhaps some kind of highly polished granite. Why would a smoldering dragon have highly polished granite at the top of a tower that, I would note, please observe, very important. No actual support structure. None. None whatsoever. It appears to be spilling lava from somewhere, spawned from who knows where, and yes, that lava does not appear, additionally, to actually reach the ground. It kind of floats there. Yes. Curious. Curious, naturally. The nature of this structure. Bugger off. A tad cave-like? Almost temple-ish in its symmetry. Then it leads to a rather odd set of poorly built hallways for people who, can't fly. Okay, so it's a dragon lair. Very fine. And that, I suppose, might be the best word to use for this structure. It is more lair than dungeon. Let's go back up to the top, shall we? And here it is, the location at which our dragon friend was residing. If this is meant to represent some kind of threat to the surrounding populace, I don't see it. You have a dragon that does not appear to actively fly, residing on top of a floating platform in the most desolate, uninhabitable, unwantable region of the world, minding its own business. I remain curious with the general narrative that these dungeons represent some kind of external threat being brought into the world. Unless it is to be said then that the change in biomes is rooted in that same cataclysmic event. I don't see the evidence for it. Now, I'm not saying that this entire situation lacks a certain depth of plot. However, in your efforts to create a backstory, it would be very beneficial if, within the constructs of the game, there were some form of exposition. Now, to be fair, this world doesn't seem to really much care for exposition. Position. Different word. Although expeditions, most definitely. As many expeditions as humanly possible. Let's try and take this from a different approach, shall we? That said, intriguing place, full of intriguing creatures, dynamic entry. Yes, right here. Hello. Good to see you. Goodbye. And... well, that's intriguing. Could have sworn there would have been something there. Oh! Well, yeah. A query. You have a very nice statue that breathes very nice fire. Very tasteful. I like it. However, you also provide platforms that allow you to climb up towards the chest and use the portal thereof. However, the platforms used to travel, both by guests, myself, and by the very monsters present within the structure in the first place, lava. I would love to have a nice long conversation with your interior decorator, whereupon I might stab them in the face. Hello. You do not appear to be a boss-type person. You appear upset. Definitely upset. However, not actually of a bossy boss nature. Are you? And you're the Ember Drake. So, if we may note, really quickly, come, this way. No, not you, I'm leaving. Now, that was the Ember Drake. Now, we're gonna go and take a little hop-do right over here. This is the fella. Isn't he adorable? Isn't he cute? Have you observed? Now, about twice my height, perhaps, at most. Let us hop back over here. And there's this fellow. Perhaps 3 times my height. Oh, it's very, very interesting. They took the smaller model and simply enlarged it. Or, alternatively, perhaps, they developed the boss, this fellow here, and shrunk him into the non-boss forms. Within this world, it may be noted then, that there is an amount of what could be referred to as reskinning, changing of coloration palettes, changes of size. As a matter of fact, there was, not too long ago, to my vision, a dungeon that was incredibly reminiscent of the snow globe-like structure we encountered in the permafrost, wherein it was simply a red globe atop a stand, as opposed to a blue globe. Yes, we've encountered that. That's fine. What else do we have? Please tell me more. Oh? Well, apparently there's quite the structure here, but it's largely underground? Oh, well, we must investigate. Tell us more. Ooh, maybe better yet, it's not even here. Perhaps it is under. Ah! Look at this. Absolutely marvelous. May I break that? I cannot? Well, didn't even want to. How tasteful, how marvelous. Excuse me, sir. I noticed that you're here, and that you're trying to kill me, and that you're dead. Perhaps your compatriot over here. Appears to be a fire scarab. Adorable, really. But this is the fellow who I wanted to have a bit more of a conversation with. Look at him. Look at this fellow. Not what would be classically referred to as a fire elemental. Oh, fire elemental, of course, being something more of a pure creature of flame. However, if you imagine, perhaps, that the structures on the outside of the flames are merely cooled lava, then it becomes quite clear very quickly that this could be a fire elemental that is cooling on its exterior. Now, as to why it would cool in this environment, look at this. Look down here. Do you see this fire and this flame? Look at this fire and flame. It is definitely here, and it is fire and flame. You, come here. Come here. Come. Obviously not interested in being on fire with me. That said, very interesting. You would note this creature did not follow me into the lava. Therein, I would find it quite unlikely that this creature would be referred to as a fire elemental. A fire elemental would have zero concern of being in lava, because, wait for it, it is made out of lava, or fire, or fiery lava. If you look to the top right, it would be noted then that the creature we are very likely to meet in this structure is another flame drake, which is fine. There's nothing to be said that's wrong there. It is simply that we've encountered one before in another location, on top of the tower, if I remember correctly. Now, as to why it would have such a significantly different biome? Area of living is very intriguing to me. This is most certainly a very palatial castle-like structure, where before it had its own residence. Now, there is the question as to whether or not flame drakes have territorial habits. If they have protective, defensive behaviors, it would be very unlikely that they would allow themselves to share such close proximity with other beings. Now, in this case, the other beings happen to be a set of cursed skulls, to which I must ask, cursed by whom? And secondly, a great deal of flame bats, flame scarabs, ooh, hello, and not fire elementals. As to what they are and what they shall be referred to as remains beyond me. I would have hoped to have encountered some sort of clarity in the matter, but it does not appear to be available to us. Moving right along, we shall have to investigate further. This is a dead end. You've given me a dead end. Useless. Absolutely useless. Why would you build a dead end into any structure, much less your castle? And then, as ever and always, I'm brought to the question, why? I know it seems somewhat odd a question to return to so frequently, but it can only be so because it so frequently is something of an issue. The layout of these structures is, by its nature, oh my, you are a tall and upset fellow. I wish you had a name. I wish there was some means by which to designate you. As it stands, however, I fear that I only have the choice of murdering you to pieces. Oh, come now. A little bit more of that murder, please. Yes? Oh, they are molten lords. Could you not? Well, molten lords. They, again, how very strange. They are designated as molten. However, they avoid lava pits. How very strange. They would appear to be almost entirely composed of lava, and yet they would avoid it. This is strange, is it not? Oh, who are you? You, hello. You have the air and aura of a person most upset, and even easily referable to as a mini-boss. However, you do not have a designation. Again, disappointing. We see a Elder Flame Drake, who you are most certainly not. You are, oh, how should we refer to it? Perhaps a butt-hurt fire crab. Yes? Oh, let's see, the flame pooper. Because is this the ass of the creature? Or who knows? By what means do you consume? What do you eat? What in this biome of yours do you consume? Perhaps it eats lava, which would then again explain the absolutely inflamed shits you are spewing upon me presently. Did you see that? That was something of a mortar attack. It stopped and then fired straight upward. Where are you going, and why are you ignoring me? Again, we see this repeatedly, where the creature will be very, very interested for a time, and then just insult my very presence with, oh yes, I don't feel like taking damage from you at the moment, goodbye, and just wanders off from me. How crass. Most irreputable. Oh, look at this, yes, we found you. Hello, sir. I would note, we encountered your brother of sorts. Oh, you're not even spawning the flame bats. We shall call you flame hornets? Interesting. I would very much enjoy meeting your larger version. I would love to see a flame hornet mini-boss or boss. Until that day comes, alas, I suppose we shall have to go ahead and dispense with the pleasantries and be on our way. As is frequently the case, I regret that despite our intent to engage in all due anthropological science, this region has left us with nothing more but more questions. We shall, as ever, in our desire to persist in our search for anthropological truth, move forward, asking the difficult questions, finding the difficult truths. This has been Insipid Von Money Currency, and you have been watching the Trovian Showcase. Please join us next week for the next installment of Anthropological Science.